Welcome to the Know. I'm Ashley Jenkins.
I'm Tim Gettys.
Here's a news story that'll just make you feel eggplant, Italian flag, whale fart.
I don't know.
Our kids are now getting arrested. You know what that means?
Yes.
You do? Because I don't. Kids are now getting arrested for using emojis that I don't even understand.
I don't know. I'd say it makes me more smiley turd crying cat finger holes than anything else.
According to a new report from the Washington Post, a 12-year-old girl is now being charged by police after posting threatening emojis on an Instagram account.
The offending status, meet me in the library Tuesday.
Okay.
Featuring a gun, knife, and bomb emoji. It also included the phrase killing, followed by another gun emoji.
Give her the chair.
After the message was posted to Instagram, a resource officer at Lanier Middle School in Fairfax, Virginia, began questioning students before sending an emergency request for the IP address of the user. This search led him to a 12-year-old student of the middle school who admitted to posting the emojis on somebody else's account.
Even though it was decided not to be a credible threat, the girl was still charged with computer harassment and set to appear before a juvenile court. Her mother says she was responding to school bullies.
Oh, this makes me think twice about tweeting that I'm going to murder some tacos for lunch.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. Regardless how you feel about the proliferation of emojis, this is still a pretty absurd thing to be arresting kids for, right? I mean, it's got to be an isolated incident.
Well, I'm generally arresting kids is absurd, but for this,
She knew what she was doing.
There have actually been other recent legal cases involving emojis as well. Lest do you think this is an isolated case? Last year, New York City law enforcement had a 17-year-old charged with terroristic threats for posting 3 gun emojis aimed at a police officer emoji's head.
I've never heard the word terroristic.
And me either. It's a word, just go with it.
I'm going to go with it. The future is really weird. The charges eventually fell through
So is
because they're
language.
insane. But it certainly hasn't set a precedent for how emojis are interpreted by law enforcement and judges all over the country. At a federal trial for a man who ran an online drug market, one attorney raised objections about the reading of an online transcript because the reader neglected to mention the post's emojis.
Because I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill you. Smiley face or winky face mean totally different things.
It's true.
One's sexy.
Yeah. The trial's judge then instructed jurors to take note of the emoji because it gave context to the sentence.
My favorite's the little dancing girl.
What's her name? Lola?
Part of the reason all this is so weird is because the past has been just as weird. Threats have a generally muddy history in the court of law, partially because it's hard to interpret what constitutes a true threat to someone until they're, dead.
The issue of threats has elevated all the way to the Supreme Court in multiple instances, and unfortunately, hardly ever of them have ever offered any kind of real clarity for following cases. We don't know what to do without emojis unless the Supreme Court tells us.
Yeah, weirdly and sadly, most First Amendment cases involving true threats have usually been race-related. The first time a true threat case went to the Supreme Court was in 1969 when Robert Watts said at a DC protest that if he ever had to take up arms against his black brothers, the first man he put in sights was LBJ.
Watts was arrested for making threats against the president, which was upheld by a federal jury and federal appeals courts. Eventually, the Supreme Court overruled the decision as not a true threat, but still didn't define what a true threat was.
This has happened over and over, from a hardware store trying to hold NAACP liable for threatening black people not to enter a store, to the state of Virginia having to decide in 2003 if burning crosses in people's yards constitutes a true threat.
We went from emojis to burning crosses. That got dark quick.
Yeah.
Welcome to the internet.
Oh my God, I didn't expect it to go here. The internet, as always, only makes things more complicated. Just last year, the Supreme Court ruled that a man who made a Facebook post about his estranged wife full of violent rap lyrics hasn't actually made a true threat. His defense? He used an emoticon of a face with the tongue sticking out.
Rhymecraft, attorney at law.
There we go. Emojis are becoming an ever-present part of our language. Advertising firm Swift Media says that more than 6 billion emojis are sent each day.
The nature of true threats is
6
part
billion?
of... Yeah.
6 billion emojis
That's
a
a
day.
lot.
That's a lot of emojis.
Not enough, if I have any say in this. The nature of true threats is part of what makes policing the internet for harmful language so difficult. If someone could make a direct threat to someone on Facebook and be allowed by the Supreme Court because they included a winky face, it doesn't seem like there's much hope for stopping the crazy eggs on Twitter who do the same thing, usually without the tongue sticking out emoji.
Well, sure, but punishing kids for using emojis in a colorful way probably isn't the answer either.
That's true.
That kind of smells like adults not understanding how kids use technology, newfangled gadgets, and being scared by it, and it's for sure going to happen more.
Yeah, just like many First Amendment cases, context matters. It really comes down to whether or not you view emojis as serious language. They are. I definitely do.
Nope.
Considering that an emoji was Oxford Dictionary's word of 2015, there could certainly be an argument for that.
But more research shows that emojis more closely trigger the parts of our brain associated with facial recognition rather than language. Eggplant emoji?
Yeah. That being said, given the rise of how people use different forms of communication online, emojis will probably be the center of future court cases. And our really cloudy definition of true threats only makes things worse in the long run, especially for young people who are often leading the way these things evolve online.
So what you're saying is that it's only a matter of time before somebody gets charged because of the threatening use of a GIF.
Oh yeah. Like
Or saying it wrong with the wrong G. Don't say
come
it with it's not GIF.
I'm a GIF guy,
Nope.
personally. But you
GIF
know,
is correct.
it
No,
definitely
it's
is.
not.
Yeah, it is.
Giraffe.
People need to stop making those wasted GIFs of us.
You'll be hearing from our lawyer soon, which is Naked Gus, so you're welcome.
What do you guys think of people going to jail for emojis? Get creative. Let us know in the comments below. The more eggplants, the better.
Nope, that's not true. For more updates on evil emojis and the dark corners of the web, remember to like this video and subscribe to the know. Emojis are not language, and it's GIF.
It is GIF.
It's
100% GIF.
Why? Why do you think that?
Because,
Giraffe.
Yeah, but this is graphic. What the
first
G
off,
stands
fuck
for.
giraffes.
Who invented it, says Jeff.
Yeah,
Right.
but he's an asshole.
He
So
made the
fuck
word.
him.
He made the word. Scuba.
What about scuba?
It should be scubba.
Yeah, but scuba doesn't sound as funny. It sounds nasty.
That sounds nasty, Tips, right?
It's true.
It's true, so it's GIF.
But GIF sounds, I don't like it. GIF.
Not nasty, she's right.
Over the last couple of years, I have turned it into GIF. Like, I did break my
There you
brain
go.
into
There you go.
doing it, but
There you go.
I don't like that.
Getting it right.
It's a
GIF's
GIF.
correct. The young kids say GIF and they send eggplants, and that's what I do. I'm mailing eggplants right now.
Eggplants will never be right.
But they will be.
Always. 3 of